going? How are you feeling? How is the weather treating you? How's the week been so far? Since the last time we met, what have you been up to? What have you been doing? I just wanted to welcome you to the Message Talk Show again. Get a cup of tea, get a cup of coffee, get a glass of water, call your friends. And as I normally say, call your worst enemies. Call them, man, because there is something for everybody on this show. There is something for everybody. In the midst of what we're going through, in the midst of what we're experiencing, we have to expose ourselves to new experiences, new things, things that will help us deliver, things that will help us become the best version of ourselves. You know, I was doing a broadcast, the last two broadcasts I did. In one of the broadcasts, the interviewee, the speaker said, you got two options here. You can either believe that 2020 was your worst ever year you've ever had, or you can make 2020 an amazing year with what you have done yourself, what you've exposed yourself to. It's your decision. I know we've been going through some challenging times. I know we've been facing some terrible times. But in the midst of it, guys, in the midst of it, we need to encourage each other. We need to raise our spirits and deliver the best version of ourselves. We don't own tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't own tomorrow, but the moment what we own is right now. Right now, I'm here right now, here right now. And I'm about to deliver how to livecast on StreamYard. It's been a question that people have been asking me, producing the show and watching the show, and they asked me, how did you do that, Alex? How did you produce what you produced? How did you do that? Well, I decided to do a broadcast just on the elements of the show, how I bring it all together. It won't be in depth, because if you want to be in depth, then you need to speak to me privately. You need to just buy my services. But I'm going to just give you an overview of what we do, how we put the show together. So get a pen, get a pad, and be ready to take notes on the Message Talk Show. Okay. So here's how we start. If you think about the end in mind, when you watch television and when you watch TV programs, what do? Your eyes are tuned to the TV and you're watching everything that's happening, aren't you? You're watching everything that's happening, the moving parts. If the picture was static all the time, then you'd probably fall asleep because, I think it's about, we have 7 seconds, 10 seconds of concentration, and then we start looking for something else. We're on our mobile phones looking for something else. So at some point, the producers are always trying to produce something to keep you engaged, to keep your eyes engaged. The screens are moving. And so when you produce a show yourself, you have to bear that in mind. Now, let me start by just showing you what my studio looks like. Now, I've converted my dining room into a studio. And, those who come into the dining room and complain, hey, all this stuff on the table, all this stuff, move it. But the end result is what you're looking at on the screen right now. But look at behind the scenes. Let me take you behind the scenes. So this is what the studio looks like. There is a green screen. There are some lights. I have 3 softbox lights around me. I have a DSLR camera. Now, I used to use a webcam, C920, but I then realized that the image from the camera, the DSLR camera, was a lot sharper and I could control it more. So I started using my DSLR camera. But you can either use your webcam or you can use the camera from your laptop or computer. I also have a MacBook there. There's my MacBook, there's my DSLR camera. And then there's a green screen at the back. And to the right of your screen, you can see my pride and joy, the Rode Podcaster Pro. The Rode Podcaster Pro. I use the Rodecaster Pro to mix the sound. to mix the sound, control the sound, and mix the sound with the mic going in. And what you can't see is a dynamic mic, a Shure 58. I wanted to buy the podcast mic, the Rode podcast mic, but that was expensive at the time. And the Shure has a good reputation for being a great mic, so I bought the Shure 58, which is what I'm speaking into right now. Now, if you want to go back and look at what I was doing about 6-7 months ago, if you go to bit.ly bit.ly/M Talk Show, you can go back to the early videos of what I was doing. You can see the setup I had then. You can see what I was using then. But so things have progressed in terms of what we're now using to produce the show. So that's the setup of what the show, behind the scenes of what the studio looks like. Now, if you imagine, the end result is this, and this is the last two shows that I did. So let me just show you the images from the last two shows that I did. This is when I did How to Drive Your Business Forward, Marketing Yourself. And this is a superb coach, Dallas Gordon from the States. And that was a production. And I did that on the go, on the fly, live, message talk show. That production was done as the show went on. All right. So the screen, the screen backdrop you're looking at and the grid you're looking at is a backdrop pre-produced in Keynote or Canva or PowerPoint or Publisher. You can use any one of those three products to do that, to give you that effect. The last show I produced with Mr. Colin Tomlin from Experience Growth, and this again was done on the fly, the backdrop pre-prepared with the grid. And while the show is going on, the names are appearing with the profiles, the handles, the Instagram handles. All right. So if you bear that in mind, what you're looking for is to produce something where the finished product, you think, wow, that looks good. And you're always pushing yourself as to what more can I do for a better show? What more can I do for a better show? So that's what it looked like. And now let me take you into StreamYard. So let me share my screen and bring you into so here you can see the studio. When you log into StreamYard, StreamYard sends you a code which allows you, StreamYard sends you a code which allows you to go into the studio. So your email address, tap in your email address, and they send you a code. And when you get that code, you come into the studio. This is the studio you're looking at now. So on my left, probably your right, there are what we call the broadcasts. And these are all the broadcasts that I've done. Past broadcasts. These are all the broadcasts that I've done. Yes, there's more there, quite a few. And then there's the upcoming broadcasts. So to create a broadcast, you press the create button, create a broadcast. And then what then happens, it allows you to create your broadcast. You put your image in, you put your wording in, and you link into the destinations. So here we have the destinations. You can add a destination. So I've got Facebook, I've got YouTube, I have a test account. This is my test Facebook. I tend to test some of my broadcasts. And there is LinkedIn, but I'm still waiting for approval to get into LinkedIn. But I have a link to LinkedIn until they let me in. And then I use this one to do Restream. but I haven't quite used that so far because StreamYard has allowed us now to go to, I think it's about eight different station destinations. So that's quite adequate for the time being. So that's where you create the broadcast and you add your destinations. So after you've added your destinations, what else would you want to do? Well, let me go into one of the past broadcasts. Let me go into one. So let me go into this one. Got one sitting here which I use for when I'm talking to people for the very first time before they have a come on the talk show. We do a pre-talk. So you create the broadcast, you go into the studio. When you enter the studio, you're asked to insert your name. There's a mute button there. There's a camera. So you have to make sure your camera is connected. You can either use the camera from your PC or you use a DSLR camera like what I have. Then you enter the broadcast. So now you're in the studio. So we're in a double studio now, right? Yep, you can see the studio now. We're in the studio. And in the studio, that's the backdrop I have, a blue backdrop. The bottom left, we have a mute button. So whenever you play videos, whenever you play anything, it automatically mutes your mic, your microphone. We have the ability to start and stop your camera. We have a setup button for setting up the video definition. Now I won't stream at 720 because Facebook doesn't allow any stronger output. So I broadcast at 720. I choose my camera here. I choose my audio. Now I'm using a Rodecaster Pro to handle all my sound, to manage my sound so I can mix the sound. But you'll probably be using the internal speakers from your laptop and your headset. And then there's the option to put a green screen. So the green screen, like what I've got now, and right, let's experiencing a bit of delay there, but let's still just wait. So you can go into your green screen and put a green screen on. Change the backdrop, which I have done. I have a comfortable living room that makes me feel as though I'm sitting in the lounge and not in an office. And sometimes you do experience when everything just drops off and you get kind of stuck. So I was just talking about the green screen there, going into the green screen. So let me just show you now the settings. Right, so I'm in the studio. I've gone through the bottom layer there, which allows me to set up my camera, set up my microphone, set up my green screen. I can share a screen, which is what I'm doing exactly now, sharing a screen in the Chrome tab. So I pull through the picture from my Chrome browser. Yep. I don't recommend you do a lot of like showing videos in your Chrome browser because sometimes there's a delay. But the best thing to do is to load the video, which I'll show you where you do that. So on the far right, we have comments. So when you're live streaming into Facebook or YouTube, wherever you're streaming, your audience has the ability to make comments. When they make comments, you click on comments and they come through to your studio, and you can see, and you can bring those comments onto the screen. So hopefully I'll have some comments into my live studio and I'll bring them on screen and show you. Then we have the next thing, we have a banners. You create banners for your show. Now, the banners I have in here are the things that just run across the screen to tell you what special points I want to make. If I was raising a question and I wanted that question to come across the screen, anything I want to show on the screen, then I use a banner for that. And sometimes it scrolls as well. It can stay static on the screen. And I'll demonstrate that in a minute. Then we have brand. And what does a brand do? In the brand, what does a brand do? You have brand assets. So these assets, so let me just show you what the banners do. So here's a banner. So I've got a banner here for the Message Talk Show, and it's going to run across the screen. If you look at the bottom of the screen now, you see the Message Talk Show running across the screen. So any special point you want to make, you allow it to run across the screen in a banner, or it can stay static. Some of the things I have one here for one of the interviewees that I did, the marketing lady, Coach Dallas Gordon, and she talked about profit for digital freedom. Now, I put her link on there because I thought that was very powerful, what she does and how she helps people market themselves and help you to come out of yourself to market and show up. And she runs this throughout the whole year. And so I put a link up there so you can see it. You can go and check it out. I thought that was really good what she did on the program. So I have a special link for her. So those are the banners. In the branding, you have your logo. I have my logo there as well, but I tend not to show the logo as a separate asset anymore. But if you look at my early assets, so this was my early overlays. All right. So in the assets, you have the logo section, and you have a section for overlays, and you have a section for videos. This is my first try at overlays. You can barely see it there, can't you? Okay. That was my first try. Now, I've produced several overlays since that. If you look carefully, you see them appearing on the screen as we speak. And even the title that's on the screen, that's an overlay. All right. So you can now see my logo at the top corner of the screen. And you can now see my name and details at the bottom of the screen. These are all pre-produced assets. And you can do these on Canva or Publisher or Keynote. Now, of the assets, I also produce assets for the start of the show. So whenever you see my show starts, the first thing that appears is the picture for the advert. So one of the last two shows I did, this was the advert I had running. So when you come into the show, this is what you see. And this again can be done in Canva, Publisher, or Keynote. You don't have to spend a lot of money doing these things. You just have to just spend some time getting yourself, just practicing using the assets, the graphical tools. This is the last one I did with Mr. Colin Tomlin, How to Experience Growth. That was a very good episode as well. And then this is the one I did for this show, How to Livecast on StreamYard. So Master Your Message is my main business as a speaker, as a trainer. I help people build their confidence through speaking, public speaking. And Master Your Message sponsors this show that you're watching right now. They are the sponsor of this. So how to livecast on StreamYard. And this again can be done on Canva, Publisher, or any one of those tools. Now, if you notice, and I failed in the beginning when I first did these assets, my words weren't big enough, because when this video loads into YouTube and a thumbnail comes up, sometimes it picks up the very first image that it sees as the thumbnail, or you can add some other thumbnails on YouTube, or even on Facebook. You want the words to grab the audience. They can read it straight away. You know, if they have to strain to read it, so you have to make the words big enough. And sometimes when I first started, that's what I didn't do that very well. But now I think I've got a lot better at doing that now. So these are the images we started with. This is the show itself, how to experience growth. These are all pre-produced assets. The background, the windows that you see, the white windows, the white window frame, that's all pre-produced assets. And the names and the handles are all pre-produced assets. So it's not difficult to do. It's sometimes it'll just take a bit of time just to get yourself used to using these tools. That was the last show I did, how to drive your business marketing yourself. Great show, great coach, Coach Dallas Gordon. I'd say I put the link out, go and get the link. And so this is the one I did for my show, how to livecast, stream on StreamYard. So we're using StreamYard. So I don't know where you're watching from right now. Today, I'm just taking you through how to stream, how to go live on StreamYard. You go live on up to 8 destinations, Facebook, your personal Facebook profile, your business page, YouTube, wherever you want the video to go. And if that's not enough, you can use Restream to add more destinations to StreamYard. Yeah, you can add more destinations to StreamYard so you can go a few more places. So make sure that you create your assets before you go live, all right? Because you want to produce something for your show. So what we do have is a video section. And when I did go just a while ago, I wanted to take you there to show you could see it. So let me share the screen again. All right, so we're there. Right, so you see on my far right? Yep, there is a section for videos. And you load your videos. Let me just get rid of that. And show you where the video section is. That's the overlay. Now, StreamYard, it doesn't like a lot of things going on sometimes, and depending on what the your internet speeds are like, and you know, with the vast usage of the internet during the day, sometimes it does slow down. So you have to make sure you don't have a lot of things going on your PC when you're streaming live. So there's a video section there. So I'm showing you there, right? On the far right, you can see those are the videos that I've loaded up. They can't be more than 5 minutes. And they have to be small files, less than 5 megabytes. So make sure they're small. So you load your videos and you play your videos. So I've shown you the video section. So let me just stop streaming that. Okay. And then take it to one of my videos. So you've seen my intro video. So during my show, I'll play another video, which is from the sponsor. So here's one coming to you.
You are listening to the Message Talk Show and Podcast. Do you believe you have something to share? Do you believe you have something to contribute? Do you have a story to tell the world, to share with your community? Gandhi said, man often becomes what he believes himself to be. If you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. So join us on the Message Talk Show and Podcast with host Alex Gordon.
Okay, so that's not one of the videos I've produced. And you probably asked me, where did I produce these videos? What have I produced? Well, I have a MacBook, so most of my videos initially were produced in iMovie. And then I graduated from iMovie to my iPad. Now there's a lot of apps you can use to produce videos and edit the videos. And one that I like in particular is called LumaFusion on my iPad. I'm not going to go into that today, but just bear it in mind. All right. Now, there is one place that I've seen that can handle videos and handle your templates and handle all your assets all in one place. And it's very simple and easy to use. And as long as your videos are less than 1 hour, you can edit the videos in there as well and chop them up, depending on how you want to repurpose your videos. And it's called capwing.com. Kapwing.com. Capwing.com. Now, I'm not getting any commission from these guys. When I came across it, I just thought it was a brilliant, very brilliant tool to have. Very brilliant tool for someone who doesn't want to have to use 5 or 6 different pieces of equipment to edit the videos, to do the sound, to do you can use Capwing, and to pre-produce your assets for your presentation. You can use capwing.com. Great piece of tool to use. And so that's the setup. That's what it looks like. Now let's get a comment coming into the screen so you can see what it looks like. Comments are a bit slow this morning coming in. Yep, here we go. Comments coming into the screen. So, right, if you want to see the videos before, there you are. You can go to the Message Talk Show and subscribe. Yes. bit.ly/M Talk Show. Go and subscribe so you get the videos that are produced. Go and get them. And you can see the early videos. You'll see the big difference in what things looked like 6 months ago compared to now. Yeah. And I have a question coming through. Right, let's show this question. Do you need a lot of money to set up a studio? This is why I said to you, go back to the very early videos that I did have when I was first doing the show. If you go back to the early videos, you will see that all I did was my laptop, webcam, and that was it. I had a plant in the background, and that was it. That was my show. I had no separate lights. I relied on the daylight coming into the dining room. I had no backdrop, nothing. It was just bare minimum. I had headphones. Now, I'm still using headphones because I did buy these some time ago. So, do you need a lot of money to start? No, you don't need a lot of money to start. All you need is the wherewithal to put on a show, create a show, and start broadcasting. Okay? And then as you start to broadcast, as you start to see what more you can do, you add more elements to it to increase the production of your show. But you don't need a lot of money to start. You need a laptop. You can use a camera on your laptop, and you need headphones. You've got headphones from your mobile phone. There you are. That's what you can start with. Okay? Now, I bought these initially to use as headphones, but they were uncomfortable. I didn't like the pressing against my ear for a whole hour sitting in the studio. So you know what? I bought myself some headphones that I can use when running. Well, that was the intention, when I go jogging. If you ask me if I've gone jogging a lot during lockdown, I won't answer that question just now. I won't answer that question. But I have earphones. Can you see it there? Yep. Earphones that plug into my Rodecaster Pro. Yep. So I can hear the sound that's coming out. I can hear my guests when I'm interviewing them, and I get a clean input of everything that's going on. So let me now take you to my Rodecaster Pro. so you can have a look.
Have a look.
So there we are, the Rodecaster Pro. I just have to make sure I mute the sound. All right, so what I did, I brought in my iPhone as a separate camera. So what you're looking at is a camera into my StreamYard from my phone. My camera came in as a guest. Yeah, I added my camera as a guest. And so you're looking at my Rodecaster Pro. Great piece of equipment. Great piece of equipment. The Rodecaster Pro can do so much more than I'm using it for. So let me just show you what I can do, what I can pre-produce before the show starts. So here we have an intro. All right. I've pre-recorded an intro. I didn't use it today. That's coming from the Rodecaster Pro. Yes, that's when you welcome the guests into the studio and people are getting excited. Raise the temperature in the studio. And these are the things you can do with the Rodecaster Pro. Now, I really enjoy using this tool. I haven't used the full extent of it as yet, but I've even put some of my early production stuff that I've done over the years on here. So let me just press that one for you. Just entertainment.
Hi, this is Alex Gordon, making your dream a reality. You've been working so hard and still not living the life that you want. You've been working so hard and you're not getting the results that you're looking for. You're not getting the things that you're looking for in your life. You have been building another man's dream. You've been building somebody else's dream. Question, what is your dream?
Hey, that's my favorite topic. What is your dream? If you invite me to speak, guys, what I'm going to talk about is something connected to your dream, either your creativity or your dream. That's exactly what I'm going to do every time. So let me just play you one more track from this.
Hey! This is Alex Gordon helping you make your dreams a reality. You have a dream. You have something inside of you. You have something to offer. You have something to give. But something needs to happen in your life. Today, we're going to talk about changing your attitude. Changing your attitude to life. It is said that your attitude determines your altitude, how high you can attain. The willingness to act now without delay. But your attitude is driven by what you know. Your attitude is driven by your...
Hey. We could get carried away there, couldn't we, guys? We could easily get carried away there because it has so many things that it can do. That's the Rodecaster Pro that mixes the sound. I can combine a lot more elements into the show as and when I choose, as and when I want to. How do I find my guests? That's the next question. How do I find my guests? Well, how do you think I find my guests for every show? I talk to people. You have to be talking to people, just like how you talk to people ordinarily in your business. You talk to people all the time. I'm talking to people all the time. I have conversations going on with people all the time. When I come across people, interesting people on LinkedIn, I look at what they're doing and I connect with them. And this lady who's just commented was one of my guests. Her name was Sanya Green. Sanya Green, hello, Alex, cool stuff. Sanya Green was a lady I met on LinkedIn. And what connected us was about 2.5 years ago, she did a mission trip to Tanzania. I think it was Tanzania she was going. And she put out on LinkedIn that she was doing this mission trip. She's a teacher. She wanted to go to Tanzania to help with the schools, to bring some equipment, buy some books, buy some pencils. She wanted to just bring some stuff to Tanzania to help the schools. And she didn't know anyone in Tanzania. When she told me that she didn't know anyone in Tanzania, all she felt led to do, and in her words, God prompted her to go on this trip. So she went on this trip. So I sponsored her to go on the trip. She went on the trip. While she was on the trip, I would connect with her on LinkedIn to say, hey, what's happening? What happened? And she would post, give an update on what took place. When she came back, she'd give an update. And she has the most tremendous story. Now, if you go back to one of my previous broadcasts about how to make positive moves in your life, this lady explains what she did in Tanzania, how she met the school principal, what he was praying for all this time. It's just divine when she tells you the story. Now, how did I find her? It was on LinkedIn. Why did I connect? Because she was doing something that was different. And I just thought, wow, this lady's an interesting lady. I sponsored her, connected with her. And from then on, we just connected on LinkedIn and we spoke. And then I invited her on the show and she said yes. We had a pre-conversation and she said, yes, I'd love to be on your show, Alex. Just by one conversation. And then I found out from talking to her that she's from the country of Jamaica. Hey, I used to live in Jamaica. That's where my parents are from. Okay, I was born in Britain, yes, but I lived in Jamaica for a while. And she's from Jamaica. And she traveled across the world. She's a traveler. She's a teacher and a traveler. She likes to explore new things. And that's how I met this lady. Hi, Sanya Green. Great me connecting with you. Great. Keep on doing the good work. She also publishes as well. She writes books. She's written a couple of books as well. And she writes. Amazing lady. So it's not difficult to stream and it's not difficult to start and it's not difficult to get your guests. All you have to do is make 1 step forward, 2 step forward, 3 step forward. And every time you make another step just to connect with people and tune into the show. So let me just share with you before I disappear now, one of my latest productions. Now, I like producing stuff, all right? Not that I'm a great producer, but I like producing stuff. So where is that? Now I can't show it. Next week. You come next week, I'll show you my new intro. I produced a new intro. You come to the show next week, Thursday, 11 o'clock. Come on to the show and I'll show you my new introduction. You'll be amazed. But in the meantime, I'm sure you're gonna love me to play out one of my tunes to you.
This is Alex Gordon, helping you make your dreams become reality. What is your dream? Where are you going? What do you want to do with your life? Today, we want to talk to you about what is success. We talk about success all the time. We talk about it, we dream about it. But what is success? Success is not money. Believe me, success is not money. It is the progressive realization of an idea that was just a thought, an idea that you have cultivated. The idea becomes goals, the accomplishment of those goals that you have set for yourself. So you plant the idea, you cultivate it by working the idea, and then you harvest the results. Everything takes time. Success is not like instant coffee. It's not like instant tea. It's not like fast food. It's not like McDonald's. It's not like KFC. Anything you do, you have to work it. You have to make it happen. You have to do something. But successful people set goals. Really successful people write them down. Until you commit your goals to paper, your intentions are seeds without a soil. Zig Ziglar. What is success? People are always blaming circumstances for what they are. I don't believe in circumstances. The people who get on in this world are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want.
I couldn't resist that. just to mix out some sounds that you can hear before I disappear. I couldn't resist that today. I don't normally play so many tunes on my show, but I just couldn't resist that, guys. The sounds what you can produce with your equipment, putting a show together. It takes your equipment. Your show is as good as your imagination. What you want to produce, what experience that you want to give people out there, you want to give the world, is the experience that you want to share that you produce in your show that makes your show different from anyone else. That's the key. Make your show different from anyone else. No one can replicate you because you are you. Who could try to be Alex Gordon? No one else. So, guys, look forward to seeing you next week as I play out my last tune. See you. Take care.
Don't miss the show. You got to be on the show.